Welcome to SonarFeed, episode 222, a tub of Tapatío, Tapatío.
You're fired.
The best part of this is the rest of the bar is like, what the fuck is actually happening? Because we've been outside for so many months that while I recognize some faces here, they're all like, I don't even know what just went down. But welcome to episode number 222.
No question.
Tub of Tapatío, which is what Ugo is rocking right now.
Let's go.
They brought that over to him earlier when he asked for some hot sauce to go with his sliders. Woo. So shout out to Berliner.
Tip it and show them.
I know, it's
like a pretty serious bit. I don't know what Dave Clark has got something probably more important than what we're doing here happening.
He's got to do a pod hit.
He's gonna hit the pod.
I was talking to Mickey.
So Mickey is doing some work right now. Reading
breaking
some
down
documents.
the latest NASL thing.
So welcome to the show tonight. We are inside at the Berliner pub. We're not going to make a habit of it.
No, we're not.
But it's a little rough out, as you probably caught earlier in the cold pre-open. So let's just go around the table. Across from me
is me, Dave Clark, at Better Than if you follow Twitter.
And to his left, your right, is I, Ugo Garcia, at Me Be The Seattle, nice and sweaty like always. And across from me,
we thought that was rain.
I was hoping.
Yo soy el tigre.
As Dave is wiping
or
his
Mark.
hand on his pants.
Or Mark, also known as SSFC Fody 13
and,
on the Twitter sphere.
I'm Tom Biro, a.k.a. Bougie Hooli. And we've got
Who's
Adam
to my
off,
left? You're
off
right.
camera.
For now.
Making things happen.
Wiggling.
Waggling. He's
Waggling.
waggling.
Keep us live
that's
on the
a thing.
internet. Busy
Wag.
guy this last week or so. We'll get into that briefly a little bit later. But, while we don't have as much, let's say, Sounders gameplay to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about the last game.
Let's do it.
When was that even?
We already talked.
3 years
What
ago.
are games? There's some, I think, some international world things that we could probably talk about. Ugo's going to learn how to use the microphone before the end of the episode. It's going to be pretty good. Ugo, do you need some extra tape?
I'll survive.
Okay.
I've held the mics before once or twice.
So we've got some, did we have that other news before the last show about the rain? I don't think that
the rain
happened.
coaching
So
change
we got
went
some stuff
last
there
week.
we can touch on tonight.
Dude, that was crazy.
Today there was some fun things
World
if you like
Cup.
international soccer
Yeah.
and Sounders players.
Mexico won.
That's what everybody's concerned about, that friendly between Mexico and another
Poland.
team.
No
Poland.
people even knew that was even happening.
I didn't
So
either.
None.
I
Ugo
started
woke up
watching
this morning and
Italy.
people were like, "Yo, you gonna watch the game?" And you're like, "What game?"
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
There's a game.
Man.
Anyway, so we got those things, and then we can, chat a little bit about what's coming up. We'll have another show before next week's Sounders-Houston match, leg one of the Western Conference Finals down in Houston on Tuesday the 21st. But I think we just touch on a few different things tonight. I'll watch whatever random gifs Mark is watching on his Twitter.
Is that
right
any
next to
different
me.
than when he was playing Pokemon? Is
No.
he going to play Harry Potter when Niantic drops that game?
You better believe it.
Probably. Yeah.
All of us
so-
will, let's be honest.
I'll show you my
So
wand.
anyway,
I went to practice today.
Haters gonna hate.
Hatter's going to hat.
Well done. That's Matt Oak sent that in earlier today, and it just seemed too good to share because I think Megatron and Starscream dropping the haters gonna hate is pretty fantastic. So, anywho, we got a few things we can get into. Week that was. We could probably just start from today and go backwards. So I'd say the most recent thing that isn't about Mexico, although on the Mexico front, did I see that Oribe Peralta is done with national team? Is that the
Quitter?
I hope not, because he was playing today.
No, I think after this cycle,
Quitter? Oh, yes.
I think he's going to be done.
Quitter?
Yes. which I'm okay with, to be honest, because
you got other kids.
yeah, and plus he plays for that other horrible club that thinks they're good.
Damn.
Remember, like 6 years ago when he crushed the Sounders single-handedly?
That too.
There was
so
that.
bitter.
So the big news of the day.
Wait, related to Mexico, can we take one minor other detour? Did you see who the
Sure.
Las Vegas Lights announced as their coach today?
Yeah.
No.
Jealous.
No way.
Seriously?
The USL, independent USL team in Las Vegas next year, the Lights, with their neon pink and yellow kit, are coached by El Celis.
No.
You know why? Because soccer's awesome.
It is awesome.
Exactly.
Seriously, though. I don't even know what to follow up.
Me
that
neither.
with. But let's
You're gonna
talk
talk
about,
Gustav.
Let's talk about a certain team whose country is shaped like a boot that will not
Florida.
be.
Not
Michigan.
Michigan. I mean, it kind of looks like a.
It is kind of a
Michigan's
different
a
country
bit,
if you
man.
really want to break it down. But let's talk about Italy. So Italy had a rough day.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Since
really didn't. The ref
1954 or
wanted
something?
Italy.
They've had a rough 11 years.
Yeah, they've had a bad run.
I'd say the
two World
cooler country one.
Like literally.
Cups. Yeah, temperature-wise.
Temperature-wise,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And chocolate-wise.
The country without an erupting volcano on the island just off its coast. One.
Also,
If you
the
like
sounder
Gustav
relations.
Svensson, you had a good day.
Dude entered in the 18th minute when
injury sub, right?
an injury sub. The guy he replaced already had a yellow too, so
Perfect.
he might have gotten extra minutes anyway. But yeah, entered early, grounded out. I mean, Sweden was fully content to just pack it in. Like I saw at halftime, they had like .04 expected goals,
This one?
and it was pretty clear that they were just like,
Yeah.
we're going for 0 and we're going to the damn World Cup.
Check on the camera. Someone just kicked it. It is a soccer. It is a
Someone.
soccer podcast.
Who would have done that?
So huge
He
day
warped.
for
Just a
Sweden.
little bit.
We get some.
I keep prepared for
And
the
heck,
outside.
Zlatan might be healthy in
4 layers
time.
underneath.
If there's a player who can carry a team in a World Cup, it's Gustav Svensson.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
Right?
certainly who it would be. I mean,
yeah,
Hey, is Ibrahim, what's his name, going to play?
he's still recovering from his knee. He did his knee, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
So,
That means he's playing there next year.
but he did sign an extension, I guess, with Manchester United, and so he'll
we'll
be.
see what that means. I mean,
if at some point he's healthy again,
no one uses superlatives more than Donald Trump
Lights are flickering
Then-
just in case.
than Ibra.
Check the
I want
Periscope.
to watch them tweet to each other.
That would actually be amazing.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be fun.
What would even, like, the internet would just combust.
Yeah.
Oh, set that Donald Trump thing aside because there's a different topic I want to talk about.
Yes.
Him that's sports related later. But right now it's the Gustav Svensson hour on SonarFeed.
Woo!
Okay,
We're not going to
Gustav
talk
Svensson
about
hour's
Gigi
over.
Buffon.
It is appropriate that Greg's hero. I'm just going to make fun of Greg for Italy. I can't wait to.
I mean, that is a crap way to go out.
Could be worse. He could have been 5th in CONCACAF.
That's a whole nother discussion. But bummer for him, obviously. I mean, bummer for Italy, obviously. But ultimately, if you're a team of, let's say, this perceived caliber, you shouldn't be in this position anyway.
Yeah, they're like with the U.S.
And that
it's
goes
like,
for anybody.
when the
that
U.S.
comes
is at
down
its
to it.
best, you're like, oh, maybe they're the 10th best. And like Italy, up until this year, you're like, they're at their worst. They're like, maybe they're about 10th in the world.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is,
Netherlands are not going to
is
make
they
it.
haven't gotten
Chile's
out of,
not going to be there. This World Cup's going to be different.
Italy hasn't gotten out of the group in the past 2 World Cups,
Yep.
and now they're not going to the World Cup. And
It just shows.
11 years ago, they won it all.
Yeah. That's
It's
what happens,
crazy.
man. That- It's a hangover. World Cup hangover. Long-lasting one for them. Sucks for them.
They have some interesting. There's some theories locally that they just don't have enough Italians playing top-level soccer right now because
Too bad they didn't call the guy in Toronto.
only.
Fail!
Oops. Damn.
Yeah. Talk trash about the MLS, son. See what happens.
Italy can't score, leaves their best goal scorer at home.
Yeah. So isn't the dude already got fired, right? The head coach?
I don't know that it matters. If he didn't get fired at the end of the
Ventura?
game,
Pretty
he's-
sure.
he's
Pretty sure.
going to be fired by the
I
end
don't
of the
know, I
week.
just peeked at this and they said, "quote I haven't spoken with the president yet."
Damn, president of the country?
No. Of the soccer
Federation.
federation.
He's at talking to the president of the U.S.
Federation.
Virgin Islands. Anyway, John Worthington says he was fired and or left.
Boom. Confirmed.
Whatevs.
Ciao. Ciao.
I'm shocked. Not really.
Like in Bruce Arena's case, he wasn't really set up to succeed, but this dude was in charge of Italy the whole cycle. Like, oops.
Yeah.
Big.
You should talk to Glenn. Glenn loves panini stickers.
Justicar Glenn?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Does
At
the panini?
Justicar.
He
He
like-
and a number
he-
of others are
He likes
big on
press
that.
sandwiches.
Multiple.
Iceland is
Yeah,
not in
'cause
here, by the way.
Panino is one. Panini is multiple.
Yeah.
Get it right.
I had a while where I was pedantic and I insisted people called me a barista, and then I got kicked in the nuts.
But like actually.
I mean, no, but yeah.
But there,
Lisa's
it's a
in the
panino.
house.
If you ordered a panino in a
Hi,
store,
Bookworm.
they'd be like, "What?
They'd
We
punch
sell
you.
panini."
Yeah, no.
You're like, "I don't want to."
I found them at the dollar store.
Wow. As you should.
Yeah.
Which is actually a good acquisition play if you're them.
Yep.
So Gigi Buffon outdone.
Damn,
done
dude.
with
That I feel
international
bad
play,
about. That I
which-
feel bad
which
about.
sucks.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you know, as multiple people talked about today, maybe this is good for Italy. Long run,
Oh, yeah.
good for the USA. That said, you know, what you had just alluded to, and maybe it's worth digging into, is it's going to look a little different in the World Cup.
Yeah, for sure,
Yes.
man.
This
I mean,
year.
no Chile, no Holland, which is karma. They deserve it after the last one. But aside from them, no U.S., no Italy. Man, just a lot of teams. It's a changing of the guard in essence, I think, similar to the MLS where you have the talent gap between the 11 to the 18 player catching up with the rest of the world. I think the rest of the world, talent-wise, in that same gap, the powerhouses, they're catching up, man.
Well, and I think there is the talent gap closing, but I do think that there's some leadership things that you can see in a few of the countries that you expect to stand out, whether it's at the federation level or the manager of the team itself.
All right.
Everybody just thinking they know everything.
Yeah.
And going with old standbys as opposed to bringing in some younger players, and
Yeah.
you know the mix and match. There seems to be some trends, I think, when you look at 2-3 teams that you might have expected to be a powerhouse. And the weird thing about World Cup too is
I'll pay attention to you, Tom.
the weird. No. The
Started to
weird,
dance, dude. I
weird
started
trick
to
about
dance.
World Cup though is that you've got teams that are, you know, have won their regional or other international tournaments and are like powerhouses the rest of the year, but couldn't close the deal when it came to qualifying for World Cup.
So, thinking about this now, where's the talent? Which region is the strongest region, European or South America? I think the power shifted.
Well, I mean,
When
Has
you say
it?
strongest, do you mean like teams that play any defense?
well, no, because Chile plays a shit ton of defense. That's how they won 2 Copa
Yep.
Americas in a row, and they didn't make the World Cup. Right?
I'm being facetious.
But at the same time, Italy used to be a very defensive team.
Yeah, they were.
They're still defensive. They just
can't
don't
score.
score goals. I don't think you can say the balance of power has shifted until they play cross federation. We haven't really seen.
And Germany doesn't win another World Cup.
Well, no, you can't say the balance of power has shifted when Argentina and Brazil aren't playing Germany and France. You can't say the balance of power shifted because you have no idea. Like, it's speculative it has nothing to base it off of. You don't see anything. You don't see them play.
Right.
They don't play each other. Then, the last time we saw it, the South America dominated the Copa America Sanitario. Big deal.
Right.
As we've learned, the United States was trash.
And so was... Yeah.
Finished fourth.
Yeah.
Fourth, better than Mexico.
And I actually played Germany Germany beat Chile pretty badly in what is it? The one in
the
Russia?
Confederations
That
Cup?
one.
I mean, the Confederations Cup, you just have like one game against another team.
Yeah. But still, man, I thought it was interesting that Germany brought their B squad, like literally maybe even their C squad, and they dominated that.
The Confederations Cup isn't. I mean, the Confederations Cup is as much of a tournament as the Club World Cup. It matters to one nation, the nation that won it, sometimes,
Right.
and then it matters to the minor nation that finished third because they did much better than they thought. That's not how you judge a balance of power. You have to have a World Cup, or when you do get things like the Copa America Sanitario, that's basically it. They don't play across enough to know that the power shifted.
Well said. I guess it makes sense. I spoke too soon.
So let's back up, though, off that balance of power conversation, and then come back to the point you were making jointly, which was, is there just something to more countries being talented in general, or winning when it matters? If you want to talk about an Iceland and countries like that, where maybe they are not a mega crazy rock star set of talent, but they're able to step up and do big things when they need to.
I think they're
is that, if you're talking about let's say over the last 11, 14, 15, 16 years, is that maybe more of the argument to be made? Is that the competition in general? There have been some other, not upstarts, but teams that have stepped in and have been consistently.
That's kind of how I see it. Like Costa Rica is, getting into they used to be kind of soft. Nobody really thought about them, but now they got further than Mexico and the U.S. last World Cup, and they did pretty well qualifying, kind of. You have Peru that's on the verge of qualifying for their first World Cup since '82. Iceland.
Morocco.
What are Morocco? Did they qualify?
Morocco.
Really?
Did they qualify?
Morocco qualified.
Wow.
Tunisia qualified. Egypt qualified.
Senegal?
I only know the
Yeah.
3 countries from North Africa. I don't know there are only 2 from Sub-Saharan Africa, which has a much greater population and.
I know. I'm excited for it because I
Variety of
think you're going to
countries.
see a lot of shocking results, obviously, because you have a lot more smaller countries that are not regulars on the World Cup stage.
You've also, I think, a lot of what you've seen is a broadening of the money in the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more places players can go to earn income now.
Yep.
And so
China,
what
miss
you've
you,
got
Oba.
with that, even
Come back
when we talk
anytime.
about Costa Rica and Honduras doing better, well, they can come to the United States and make good money now. We're going to see them to Kyoto and Ellis are going to play against the Seattle Sounders here in a little bit. They're making good money in MLS, and that's part of why Honduras is better. That's part of why Costa Rica is better. Gustav Svensson went to China and then MLS because he can make good money there, and that's part of why Sweden is better, is because there's other players like that.
Right.
When you broaden the game like that, when it's played in more places, there's a greater chance that some of those players become even better than they were. Broadening the game, diversifying the game. Plus, you insert new ideas and new thought patterns into whether it's coaches and their tactics,
Training,
or in the players and how
recovery,
they train, or just in, I'm going to try that pass that I saw that one time with the kid out on the street there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you think that that's just a matter of the federations or the leadership of those individual countries' teams now just needing to have managers that are willing enough to look at their players that are playing across a far more diverse slate of leagues? Because that's a really good... let's just look at how far away that is from Sweden for a second.
Right.
and like multiply that by any number of federations and any number of club teams that there are, that's where I think you see like the reticence or this is the way we've always done it that certain like coaches have, and then there are others that are maybe a little bit more willing
hire
to
a
say, well, sure. I mean, it's funny you bring that up because that's like I had a related conversation to this talking about FIFA with somebody the other day, the actual game,
The video game,
and like there are people who are super high touch on one way of doing things, and then there's another way of like hire a shitload of scouts, as many as you can, but try and manage the process, but actually like use the academy that they have, in the system for you. It's really interesting to see how different the game is when you approach it that way, because you don't have to. And when you're talking about international coaching, it's a little bit different than the club teams.
Right.
But it's funny, like you can play the game two completely different ways. Like you could just go brute force, I'm going to spend money and buy everything. And then you're going to bring up a, DeAndre Yedlin every 5 years on your team. And you can end up with the same results ultimately and spend a different amount of money. So is there something to that, though, when we are talking about the managers and the staffs of national teams, that they just need to be a little bit more willing to look at the pool differently versus the like, well, this guy's been in for 4 cycles, so I guess we'll have him on the roster.
Right, I think, and I kind of see that more, at least with the country that I follow the most, with Mexico. You're seeing that willing to try.
You follow Mexico?
Yeah, a little bit.
I didn't know that.
But, some people are really giving the coach a hard time because of that philosophy of trying different lineups all the time. But, there's some players right now that they played in these friendlies that I'm like, who? What? But they are trying new kids, and they're broadening their pool of getting players.
Yeah.
Not sticking to, like, the big-name European players. And then you get kids like Chucky, who came up in the last year, man. That kid's going to be dope. Chucky.
How do you really feel?
Dude, I'm hyped. Seriously. But speaking of hype, do y'all read the article by Pulisic?
Pulisic?
Pulisic? Sorry, Pulisic.
I mean,
You guys know what I said.
there's probably about 9 other ways you could say it. Some people say sitch, some people say sick.
I thought it was really
Long.
long and also like kind of courageous. He's really young for him.
It was really good.
Speak this is kind of one of the first big statements that he's made as a professional, as the new future of U.S. soccer. He kind of like spoke up. I got to give him credit for.
They got him a great ghostwriter.
You think so?
So he didn't use the CNC?
It's the Players Tribune. 90%
Damn.
of Players Tribune stuff,
Yeah.
the players don't write.
What?
I thought it was all written by Alex
Dang
Rodriguez.
it, man. Dude, yeah, thank you. Great comment. Thank you. Tell us.
Nobody heard the comment.
Yeah, well, what was the
Repeat
comment?
the comment.
Next thing you're going to tell us is the Santa's not real.
Yeah, the Players Tribune brings in ghostwriters or heavily edits.
Santa
in
is real.
Many, 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 many cases.
But, like, how do you know?
Because it's literally the first time he's ever written anything for public. I think if he was that strong of a writer, we would have known by now because he would have written something.
Okay,
that
so
would have
maybe he
appeared.
wrote it, but he had a ghost editor. Someone that just edited it and molded it. But he
Okay.
did, like, 80% of the writing, maybe. But you're saying it's the other way around. Really?
Adam Weigel says that Jordan admitted that somebody else wrote his.
Did he really? On Twitter? No? Well, anyhow, never mind. I guess it's not as courageous.
No,
That's not.
I'm not saying he invented the thoughts. I'm just saying the way the words were put together was somebody else's.
So basically, did he sit down with the writer and then this is what I want to get across, and then the writer recorded it and kind of wrote it? Is that how it works?
There are a lot of different ways to do ghostwriting.
right.
I can't know the one that he chose. I'm pretty
that whip?
certain.
What? Ghostwrite that whip?
Well, you got to say it twice.
I'm not trying to diminish what he said.
Say it
I'm
twice.
trying to diminish the Players Tribune.
It's bad.
I thought I was really caught off guard because I just learned that Santa is real
Oh my God.
in the chat. That's
Oh
official
my God.
confirmation right there.
It was a great read regardless. Thank you, Oscar. Oh, that was a good
I
read.
just said that, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not diminishing the ideas. I'm diminishing the players'
The
tribute.
process.
Oh.
Well, you know what?
Is this because
I
you don't
am-
like Derek Jeter?
No, I don't like Derek Jeter.
Does anybody?
I mean,
his wife
his wife.
and New Yorkians? Did I say New York?
So
Does she though?
there were a lot of interesting things that he said.
Yeah.
Adam likes Derek Jeter.
I thought it was interesting that Dan Kodemas, the vice president of communications for Major League Soccer, posted today the numbers behind how many of their academy kid minutes, games played, goals, and assists from the academy kids today. It was basically a direct rebuttal to not necessarily what Christian Pulisic said, but what all the anti-MLS fanboys who use Christian Pulisic's words as justification to shit on the domestic league. Because Kodemas pointed out that more minutes were played by academy players than any other time in MLS history. Goal scoring and assists are up 200% from just 3 years ago. Like, the idea that people aren't playing their kids doesn't hold up to scrutiny. The kids are actually kind of better now, too. Like, when we talk about, you know, Tyler Adams, who is going to play against Portugal tomorrow, Jordan Morris, DeAndre Yedlin left, but, you know, their teams play their kids.
You got a new dog,
Yeah.
DeAndre Yellen. You
Did
guys
he?
see it? British Bulldog. Hella
They
cute.
might not play
Nice.
their teens,
As
but at
puppy?
the same point,
Yeah.
if you want to say that
Oh.
games
I know, dude. Soup.
should matter,
I wish I could afford a puppy like that.
playing their teens happens to once-in-a-lifetime talents, and that's what Christian Pulisic is.
No,
I feel like you had something else to say.
no. Just I thought they were all overall good comments. So it's good to know that the idea behind it's still him. Because I mean, he brought good fans, and it's good for him to start to vocalize his persona of who he is, and you know, because not a lot of people get a lot of thoughts from him at this point because he's so young and he's doing so much, and he plays in Europe. And I do feel bad, dude, really bad that kids are not going to be able to see him next year, man. That sucks.
They're going to see a lot of him because he's going to be playing in Champions League.
Yeah, but you
Every
know what I'm
single
saying.
year.
You know what I'm saying. But he is going to be playing a lot, and people are going to follow him more. And I thought it was a good. I don't know. I like.
Never underestimate the power of like TV or brands to come up with some creative way to work someone like him into advertising during World Cup, or get him on.
Speaking of which,
get him on coverage, or have him
Yeah.
be some like analyst or something.
Yeah. I think I saw like a German team on like NBA TNT pre-show with Charles Barkley the other day. They brought the trophies of
Yeah.
God, which team was it? Not Dortmund. The other.
Bayern Munich?
Yeah, I think it was them, dude. They brought the trophies and
Are they any good?
Nope.
Nope.
oh, it wasn't.
We're making fun of you. You go, I'm sorry.
Whatever. It's all good.
One of them
It's
can
okay.
get hit. Not me, though. I need my face.
I'll
So
just rub this.
Bregel. I just want to say Bregel like 15 times.
Brego.
Bregel.
Sent
Say it in
a
Spanish.
congrats to the Bregel.
Bregel.
Bregel. Well, it would depend where the accent was, but
True.
yeah. Says congrats to the San Francisco Deltas. And for those of you not familiar with the San Francisco Deltas, they beat the Cosmos yesterday, right? Yesterday in the NASL Championship
Wow.
at a stadium that
Sounders have some history at.
We know it.
It's also a heck. This show has a history at, even though
Eso,
no one
Scott,
on the show
eso.
has a history.
Yeah.
which is kind of funny. So anyway, so Deltas took an NASL championship 2-0.
What's the drama with them still? Are they suing
They got
Federation?
Well, them meaning the NASL.
Yeah.
Yes, the NASL issued their appeal to their court case. They filed it today. They're appealing for a. They're appealing the mandatory injunction not happening, saying that it didn't need to be a mandatory injunction; it needed to be a preliminary injunction. That's what I was talking to Mickey about when the show started. The long story short is the NASL feels that they are required to go out of business if they're not a Division II team, or a Division II league. And they've there's some legal weight to it, and they've also accused U.S. Soccer and MLS of conspiring against them, which
pushing the USL up.
They're not saying that. It's about the marketing company called Soccer United Marketing, of which every MLS owner owns a portion of, as well as a couple other guys.
And they own the rights for Mexico playing in the U.S., by the way.
Yeah. They bought the rights, as marketing companies do. They pay for the rights for a thing, and then they market it, and they make more money off of it. It's not an illicit relationship. They're not intimately intertwined. They found a way to make money, and
they're
they make
making
money.
it.
The judge found those words to be the conspiracy charges to be, like, essentially interesting but not provable.
Oh,
but that isn't why they ruled against the.
What is better for us here in Seattle, NASL or USL?
To not give a damn about the NASL and the USL because you have the Seattle Sounders here.
Got it.
You shouldn't care about a league. Leagues are leagues. If you find a league that you like, stab yourself. Because you should never like a league. You should never like the Pac-12. You should never like the NFL. You shouldn't like the NBA or the NHL. Leagues are leagues.
I guess let me rephrase my question.
Hate every owner.
What would impact us more, I guess? Well, I guess the USL because we have that team there. So, okay. Answer my own question.
It's just...
Yeah.
Tom likes the league.
I mean, if we really want to talk about this for a second, it's already impacted you, like the lawsuits and other things that are going on. Like, I'm sorry to say this.
It's sped up the move
to people who did an interview live the other day, but the team wanted to move. The team is moving because there were specific things called out in the first lawsuit as far as first filings, as far as exemptions and things about playing at Starfire and other stadiums. If you noticed, it wasn't just Sounders that had things going on. The Vancouver team folded, and they pulled up
Seattle
a
had
Fresno.
other options they could have
There
done.
were other things that could have been done. It dramatically accelerated the move because it was either build a new place, go to another option, or just move anyway. So rather than move twice, they just pulled the Band-Aid off and chose to move.
That's kind of what I wanted to ask, so makes sense, I guess.
That's
they were going to
really
move
the
anyway.
reason you should care.
That's why I wanted to. That's
but
why
like, if you
want to
support the Cosmos or the Deltas or whomever, go for it. But like supporting a league, and I think your point on this is spot on. It's not that you don't support professional soccer or professional football. If you like the NFL, like love the teams, love your players. You don't have to love the league. You can just be supporting of soccer, football, whatever you call it, and the access you have to it.
Yeah. There's only one group of people that actually support their league, and that's SEC fans. But like,
and it's actually universal.
Yeah, they all love the SEC, but they're idiots, and they don't do it with their other sports. You know, NHL fans hate their commissioner, and they hate everything about it, and they love their team. And when we had the Sonics, we still hated the NBA even before they removed the Sonics, but we still love the Sonics. Yeah. We love the Seahawks, but we hate the NFL for stupid things like Thursday Night Football. I don't see any reason to pick a side in the NASL MLS battle because, frankly, I have the Sounders. They're not the NASL, and they're kind of sort of part of MLS, sure. But love the Sounders.
No question.
No matter what league they're in.
Sin duda.
Support your local soccer. Support your local professional soccer. Support your professional soccer team that cares enough about the future of soccer that they have academies that are nearly free to play.
Do we? Ours are nearly?
It depends on definition of terms, but the Sounders Academy doesn't really keep people. It's not a financial decision.
All right, man. Answer my question. Hope we answer
parents.
yours too.
I did talk to Brian today about the two coaches because Giovanni Savarese hasn't. He's won two of the last 3 years. He's won the NASL title. Dos Santos, no relation. With the Deltas, has won 2 lower division titles, I believe.
Oh, snap.
One with Swope, or no, one with Ottawa.
Stay Swope.
Didn't Swope win it, or are they in the finals, I think?
Swope's in the final tonight, but Dos Santos coached the Deltas to their victory tonight. He's been in the finals multiple times.
Which there's an update on that final.
So, is it now final? Breaking news?
You're allowed to read things.
You have a microphone.
Yeah.
It's 1-0 Louisville.
What?
That's
Louisville.
Is it over?
Louisville.
SC.
Level?
So, and he said that, Schmetz used to be the USL guy, the Division II guy that didn't get the respect. The league didn't want to hire him, and he's like, they're good coaches. They've overcome a lot, whether it's, the Delta's about to go out of business because they have a crappy stadium situation, and their owner thought that insulting the fan base was the right way to drum up more support, or the Cosmos, where Giovanni Savarese, they spend a ton of money, and they have the most pressure of any minor league soccer team in the U.S. He managed to get wins anyway. We've seen it. Just because you have high pressure and high expectations doesn't mean you're going to win. See Bruce Arena with the Galaxy.
Boom.
I will say, I have friends in New York, New Jersey, kind of the Long Island, that whole area. I would say many people over the age of 30 are of the opinion that New York is yellow.
Green.
They're still
The
stuck in
Cosmos?
this yellow color.
They're green.
I know. But I had someone say this to me, and I sort of chuckled. And then he showed me, this, Facebook group for old school Cosmos fans, and I'm like,
And none of
this
them are
is
over
weird.
30.
Yeah.
So they're
It was
old
pretty
school Cosmos
strange.
fans that hadn't heard of the Cosmos until they were a T-shirt company
Yes.
owned by the Saudi Arabian group.
Pretty much, yeah. And that worked. And it's a really weird thing, because you've got this, you've got essentially 3 big money teams in a weird kind of way.
Yeah.
2 playing in one league and 1 playing in other. The 2 don't give a shit about the green, the Cosmos. The Cosmos are jumping up and down and waving at the window more than Portland does about Seattle. And
That's
it's a really weird thing
And
to
this
see.
is the first season that the Cosmos have actually played in New York City.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that everyone that supports them claims that they're the true city team because they play in the city. This was their first year in the city.
But I know people that believe that is the thing.
They've got a great mythology.
It's a really interesting situation to see people who are just either they're I'm about pro rel, fuck MLS, blah 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 people, or they just can't stand Red Bull, can't stand
And
City.
honestly, who can?
I did like, though, that we've all devolved into people calling them City now. New York City. I'm like, come on, people. Anyway, it'll be really interesting to see where this goes. If only to,
You okay, Dave?
see what the lawsuits do, the filings do, to transform.
The tier system.
Yeah.
Right. No,
Whether or
that's-
not
that's-
it works, and by works, it's whatever that means to you.
Right.
Whether it's just ends or it becomes a really, really big. Becomes a really, really big cluster. I don't know. I mean, we've already seen it affect things.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you never,
Thanks,
never really
lawsuit.
know. Yeah.
What about the birthday shout out today? Today's the birthday of when they announced the team back in 2007.
That's crazy. I saw that photo today.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, everyone looks younger.
10 years.
Oh.
Actually.
Yeah.
You were in your 30s.
Is today the celebration of the official
announcement in 2007 that they were going to be the 15th.
Yes. The team.
No.
No, the club.
So there was a pre-announcement at the Georgian Dragon with Drew Carey that today I learned myself and Brian Schmetzer were both at, but there were like 400 people in the Georgian Dragon, which is
Really small.
well
A lot.
impossible.
lot.
Yeah, it was hard to find anybody there.
Yeah.
I think I kind of just stuck my head through a window from the outside.
Today is the Georgian
ceremo-
Dragon.
Today was the Georgian Dragon,
Yes.
and tomorrow is the ceremonial, like official with like the real money. Not
This is
Drew
the
Carey.
this is the beginning. Right, but Drew Carey's at this.
Wait, Drew Carey was the only of the future owners. He was the only one at the Georgian Dragon event. He was like, "It's not really official, but thanks for coming because I'm part of the ownership group that's going to bring the Sounders to MLS." Whereas the next one was like Don Garber, Adrian Hanauer, Joe Roth, like the big, huge money. Because Drew Carey's not, to us, Drew Carey is big money, but to those people, I mean, Drew Carey is at 2%.
Yeah. So, 10 years. Lots happened. It's kind of crazy to think about.
It is, dude. It's nuts. I remember where I was. I was sitting at the bank at my old work, and I saw that announcement. I think I went to the Seattle Times at the time, and I was like, "What? Yo,
Ugo was just counting hundreds in the machine.
yeah, in the vault. Like, yo, let's go." No, I was hyped. I was excited. I was like, "Man, this is good news. We need this."
Yeah.
I remember that was the start of a really bad couple of years for us in sports overall for Seattle. So getting the good news was very welcome.
It was actually really funny because it's like a peak of certain things from a market standpoint, like economically here. And then '08 was just trash for so many industries.
Yeah.
So kind
Easily
of a
the
weird
worst sports
time.
years in the history of Seattle. Easy. 2008. Easy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know.
Look at us now. We got a MLS Cup. We got a Super Bowl trophy.
NWA championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
NWA. NWBA.
Yeah, I was like,
WNBA?
WNBA. There it is.
Yo, that's
It
fantastic.
took you 3 tries.
I don't follow it, so the
And that was their second one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Their first was like 04, 05.
Trip to the Final Four in college football last year. Let's go. What else?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, it's been a good decade for Seattle sports. Since they
Speaking
announced
of-
Sounders. What a coincidence.
Speaking of Seattle sports and sort of a big thing coming up, 2 local clubs playing each other in a certain NCAA tournament.
We got tweets though. We got to make sure we cover this Jeb
Mean tweets?
Brovsky tweet. You just saw that? That he pointed out that American Italian fans can make this all a little bit more embarrassing and depressing by meeting at an Olive Garden to watch the World Cup.
Oh.
That's fantastic.
I heard you prefer Applebee's.
No.
You know, somebody gave
What
away.
is the worst QSR idea? All you can eat breadsticks or $1 margaritas?
$1 margaritas.
When you say worst, what do you mean?
Yes.
For the customer.
Yes.
Ooh. Even so, I might have to ask a clarity question. Thanks.
It's got to
Santo
be
Martin.
it's got to be
Juicy?
the dollar margarita.
I think it's the
Yo, we
dollar
should
margarita.
do
Yeah, but weren't they
Sounders
like 3
candles.
ounces?
I don't know. It's
God, I just
trash.
thought of a great idea.
It's
When
literally
you buy a
whatever
Sounders candle, we
cleaning
got a player on
supplies
there?
they can find
Yeah,
in the back.
I think that, like,
gonna
again,
bring
as
that
somebody who enjoyed economics in high
The
school,
dollar margarita is
that
a
like
bad idea.
the beer and pretzels argument, like I have a genuine understanding of utility. I think you
We
can
should get water
outlast
cups.
the breadsticks. I don't know if you can outlast bad margaritas. However, from like an attraction standpoint, dollar margaritas is going to get people in the door.
Oh,
Let's just be
overpriced.
fair.
Heck, when I was in the Army, unlimited breadsticks and salad got me in the door.
Unlimited breadsticks and salads gets a lot of people
Yeah, I
in the door.
just think like the $1 margarita is so wrong, dude, on so many levels.
It
that
just sounds awful.
awful.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Emily says salad and breadsticks, y'all.
Yeah. No, but going back to this,
Louisville
I
just
think,
won.
Emily, can we get some of your art on some of these candles?
Also, Louisville won.
Yes.
Louisville.
Okay.
Oh.
I will help.
That team from Kentucky.
Guys, it's
Yes.
Louisville.
That team from
Louisville.
Kentucky.
Louisville.
They won, huh?
Yeah.
Where all the bourbon comes
Kansas
from.
City just losing all over the place.
Louisville.
Except barbecue.
LOL, Vol. Millennials will say. All right, so we've degraded about 50% in the last
Shocking.
2 minutes. Let's
Watching parties. Away watching parties.
Let's do that now.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a lot of them. So selfishly, I will say, ECS viewing party, Fuel. Shocking.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff out there. So check Fuel or ECS Social. I think it's like $3 Jamesons for goals and a couple other things, and they're giving away or have
Unlimited
some
or
raffles.
just one?
I mean, in theory, it's how
Make it
much
around.
money you have.
Like $30. Kind of like 10 shots.
I'm pretty sure Mike will accept your money.
Solid.
Yeah. And they are giving away tickets. They have some raffles for GA and non-GA tickets. So that's happening. And then here at the Berliner, so again, remember they moved the game time. So it is officially 6:30 kick, or 6:30, but it'll be about 6:48 or somewhere thereabouts. Here at the Berliner,
Let's go.
we've been instructed to get here early. There are no table reservations, so it is first come, first serve. So you know people will be here. People who get out of work at like 3 in the afternoon, who might be here at like 3:12. So
3:11.
So get here. They're going to be doing. They're going to be doing the projector behind where Dave and Ugo and Adam are sitting right now. So in the main room, and then outside there's going to be a table, a TV in the lower, and a TV in the upper, all with sound. So
Let's
it's
go.
full-on Sounders all night long. James Woolard, voice of the Sounders, going to be here at Berliner Pub. So big things are going to happen. I think I can stress nothing more than the get here early, send a friend, first come, first serve. Ugo, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I'm excited about it. I'm going to try to leave downtown Seattle to get here as fast as possible. Makes no sense. That's probably going to
You'll probably be fine. But
As a reminder, if you subscribe to the weareecs.com newsletter, they will tell you where all of the official viewing parties are.
yeah.
The Berliner is on
there
that
be
list
cat gifts,
because
though?
they're part of. That's where Barra hangs
Barra!
out on games. But you're going to find places up and down the Puget Sound
Yep.
and around the United States.
There's some on either side of the water,
Tacoma.
so north and south, all sorts of things.
Subscribe to the newsletter even if you aren't
Do
an
it.
ECS member.
Yakima?
Do it.
Mainly so you can get all the cool links.
Yakima.
Nice. Just so you can click on links to Sounder at Heart and Dave stories.
Yeah.
Mark only does it for the cat gifts.
Yeah.
Or taco gifts in the
Taco
past.
Yes.
gifts. Check the links on the sidebar. They're usually funny.
Is the underwear one still on there?
Yeah, as is the fuck off Bruce Areno one.
Perfect.
Come on.
It's a good newsletter.
It is a good newsletter. It's probably one of the best.
Bregel
in
points out
MLS.
Doyle's in Tacoma.
Doyle's, which just hosted the T2 or T2, the S2.
Oh. I bet my boy
S2
Oscar knows where to watch
Tacoma
it in New York.
announcement.
Freudian slip.
You almost got in Trouble.
Yo, Oscar, where are people going to watch it in the East Coast, man? You're out there in New York.
His house. Carlo
Oscar's
East.
house. Let's go.
Oscar, we're on our way.
There's Carlo East. There'll be a spot in D.C. I think
Okay.
it's Lucky Bar. Lucky
Yeah,
Bar?
and I know I got a Barra.
There's a Boston bar and there's a D.C. bar.
Yo, I got to tell y'all about my boy. This guy from Houston, or not Houston, from Texas, became a fan of the Sounders and found out about Barra. He came out here for a couple games. I think he was like 18. Him and his 17-year-old brother to hang out with Barra before a game like 3 years ago. Barely like in high school. Dope kid. Went back to Texas, finished school, and now he's in Harvard. Yeah, he got accepted at Harvard, and he's out there looking for a sports bar. I think there's a group out there in Boston.
SSE.
SSE? Okay, let's go.
Sounders East Side.
East Coast?
No.
No.
Seattle Sounders East.
Seattle Sounders.
East. We got a lot of
Or is it Sounders
quality
supporters East?
out in the East Coast. My boy Oscar. Let's go.
So, good shouts. Well done. Let's keep the positive news rolling.
Yes.
And touch on Laura Harvey
Yeah.
departing the rain.
That was
Weird
rough.
to consider that positive news.
I was kidding.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of reasons to think that it's positive
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
One, the guy that beat her twice in the final
Is now our coach.
is now the coach. It's a case of if you can't beat him, buy the hell out of him.
Wow.
I like
Not
it.
really. A little bit.
I
But
was genuinely being sarcastic.
No, there's some good news for this. And if
I
you
don't-
like the U.S. women, chances are pretty good Laura
yeah,
Harvey
I-
is about to be the U.S. women's coach.
Which
So-
would be fantastic.
That would be
So,
fantastic.
and would you say Laura Harvey made her biggest trade yet and traded herself?
You stole someone's content.
I did. I don't remember who it was, though, so sorry.
it was Ride of the Valkyries.
Was it really?
Our little sublog, yeah.
So,
Laura Harvey made one final move.
Yeah.
She traded herself.
Thanks, Susie.
so big ups to her for real for everything that's gone on here.
Yeah.
But
a
I
G.
think it's really interesting, especially having seen a little bit of the ins and outs behind the rain and like how the league works and things, to see somebody be like mega committed to it, and B, like to actually do really amazing things and, you know, take some amazing pros and some amazing raw talent and turn them into like a really fantastic
Paul,
team
major props,
year over
dude.
year.
Going out to Houston, man.
Has been
Way to
pretty cool to
represent,
see.
bud. Way to represent.
David had a comment.
I was still, she did a lot here. I think a lot of it gets down to what Bill Predmore enabled her to do.
Yeah.
As an owner, he was very active. You can see that in in Harvey's relationship to Bill and Teresa, what they have done for her and for the players to try to find ways to get them more money, despite the fact they're not allowed to pay them more. And I think it's pretty clear that when the Predmores found out that Laura was looking other places, they found
That's a good question.
probably the only pro women's coach with any American tie that you could say might be better than Laura. And I have a ton of respect for Laura Harvey.
Me too.
What the talent that
G.
she assembled and what she brought here. She's a great soccer mind, and she was all in. Like, I remember the photo of her painting over the lines so that Memorial Stadium would look more soccer-y.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah, that's clearly about the third grade reading level. We don't normally go that high.
Cool.
Are there pictures?
Yes.
Good.
I was literally describing
There
the picture.
actually are pictures.
Okay. Are they
Literally.
moving pictures?
No, in that case, I haven't seen the moving picture of it. I've only
Shout
seen
out to
the
Santa
photo.
Susi.
So it's going to be a weird transition. It's going to be probably the hardest year on the field. Well, since year one, that
That was
Disaster.
Yeah.
but it only took a year for Laura to figure out
And then run
NWSL, and then she dominated. I think it's interesting because there are some statements out there that she's in kind of this advisory role with the U.S. women's team.
Yeah.
Who technically have a coach that they tend to win games without looking good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jill Ellis probably looks over her shoulder at training
Right now.
and in the games.
Yeah.
And I'd be fine with Laura taking over because I like what she did with the rain. They played a
We should get her on here before she
style.
leaves.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
That means hint, quote.
I can't promise anything. I can only beg.
That means it's happening, yo. That means it's happening. So be ready. It won't be next week. Next week, no. But after that, it's happening.
How do you know?
I know my boy Dave. The man is so clutch that Reggie Miller calls in for advice.
Wow.
Who's Reggie Miller?
Oh, you're so
Kidding.
young. Get
I'm
out of
kidding.
here. Get out of
Kidding.
here.
The best was there were like 19 things that I thought you might say.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
It actually may have been 1 through 5.
He played for the Pacers, right?
Yes.
Yes.
See?
The Indiana Pacers.
What
And he
college?
was the
What college?
second best
Oh shit! I don't
basketball
know.
player in his family.
UCLA. Exactly.
Which is
who was
nuts.
better? Who was better? Who was better?
I know
Then-
who the
then
most
who?
famous.
Who's
coach
the
out of
older?
UCLA is,
Who's the
John
older
Wooden.
relative? What's the name of his older relative that was better than him?
His sister, Cheryl Miller.
That's right, Cheryl Miller. She was badass.
What was that head thing?
I have no idea.
That's just.
It
I
was
don't know.
saucy.
So
Let's you put
See?
that 199.
Sticking with the theme. Look at me.
yeah,
Ah,
you're just gonna hate in the corner.
Yeah.
Is that your new thing?
Hatter's gonna hat.
I was gonna
Hatter's
hat.
gonna hat.
I got my ECS hat on.
So let's.
Should we talk about the Sounders for a little bit?
Yeah,
Let's do
yeah,
that.
This
Playing a
coming
week.
game.
Can we-
I'm like, I
Can we
either
do
have like
one
week
5
and a
more
day?
grim
Can we
topics.
do one more game that's before that?
What? Oh,
Which
the
one?
Seahawks Monday Night Football the night before.
What? There's a.
Roldanito.
There's another team.
Roldanito.
Oh.
And then-
A
That
little,
guy.
A little upcoming match between UW and Seattle.
How do you feel about that?
Go.
I mean,
Red Hawks.
when you bring up a topic on the show,
Yeah.
typically
Go
it
Red
is-
Hawks.
You have to
you've got
drive
a little
this.
bit of information.
Oh,
and
that's
then
all
you
I
talk
fucking
about
know.
it, and then other people either have information as well, look it up
Okay,
on
it's
their
their second
computers.
meeting of the year.
I'm
Is
just
it?
your Uber driver.
Yes, because they played in the Seattle Cup earlier. They always play a friendly in the preseason, and they alternate
It's
locations.
true.
But this
Oh,
year
okay.
they're playing two because in the NCAA tournament they drew each other.
First round.
Wow.
So in the first round, the men's NCAA soccer tournament only has 48 teams because cowardly schools like Wazoo don't bother to have soccer.
Only
Title IX.
48.
Cowardly.
It's a
Title
IX.
IX exists at the UW and at Seattle U, correct?
Cowardly.
Yeah, way more
Okay.
students, way more sports. Make way
That's
more
not
revenue.
how Title IX works.
Well, whatever. It's a non-rev sport.
It is a non-revenue sport. But so
You
you're
should
gonna
have just
see,
gone with that first.
That's
Here-
what I was always told there. So that's what I'm.
Here
going
are a
with.
couple reasons why you want to watch that game if you're a Seattle Sounders fan.
Where and where?
It's going to be at UW. Follow GoHuskies.com and they'll tell you when and where it is. Or 6 p.m.
Because
Thursday
it's
because
actual
Adam
soccer
Weigel
that's
has it.
on.
That's doable.
Yeah. Bregel.
Brego. Sorry.
So, some reasons why you want to watch that as a Sounder. One, Jamie Clark and Pete Fewing, the two coaches, UW and Seattle U respectively, are putting out good talent, and they're almost like the finishing school for a bunch of MLS players. Whether it's Spencer Ritchie, who is the third keeper up at Vancouver, probably the second keeper next year, Christian Roldan, and the ton of HEPs,
Henry
whether
Wingo?
they've signed Henry Wingo, Kyle Bjorntham, David Olson, both went to Seattle U.
Jones.
Darwin Jones.
Where's he at now?
Darwin Jones, Tampa.
Nice. Nice.
So they're kind of a finishing school. And then when you talk about their talent and their ability to develop, you talk about them being a finishing school, who do we need to focus on? At Seattle, at Seattle, we'll start there. With their almost certainly to be drafted, the other Roldan. Roldanito, whatever you want to call him.
Okay.
The little Roldan, Alex Roldan, who practices with the Sounders as often as the NCAA regulations allow him.
Let's go. Alejandro, let's go.
But I must repeat, as the hype machine tends to build because he's related to a player, he has no connection whatsoever to the Sounders.
Don't we have any kind of rights from him or something?
How?
I don't know.
He's never played for the Sounders.
But his brother does, by relation.
So when Giovanni Dos Santos... That's a bad example. Normally, in the sports world, just because your family signs with a team doesn't mean the team has the rights to you.
I'm just following the hype. I'm diving into the hype.
I'm going to squash
Wait,
your
so you're talking about
Thank you for squashing my hype.
how the non-USA works?
So Portland does not. Lisa made a good point. Portland does not have who? Wayne Rooney, right?
I mean, do they
Yeah.
want
I did not
Wayne
believe. I did not
Rooney
know that.
rights?
Just because somebody signed the other Rooney, Luke Rooney, John Rooney, one of those two Rooneys has played, that doesn't mean you get the Wayne Rooney.
Gotcha.
So, but Alex Roldan is a really good player at the college level and will probably be drafted. Will probably be drafted by a team like Seattle that doesn't value physique as much as they do tactical and technical ability. Also, for the Huskies, focus on Handwalla Bwana. 1, awesome name. 2, actually a Sounders Academy player. 3,
Awesome player.
Amazing story of like growth and development from as a refugee.
Katie.
Matt Pence
Eres la mejor.
wrote the story about Buana. Read it. His story about being in a refugee camp, discovering soccer, coming to the United States, playing for the Sounders, and then for the UW. It's a great tale, but he's basically like his style of play is a poor man's Darlington Nagbe. A little bit better at free kicks, though. It's it's a good number 8. Like if you can have a guy like that playing centrally and you can get him for free, so that's one that you want to watch. Watch that game if it's just for those 2 players and those 2 coaches. That's a good reason. And if you love local soccer, it's the Dogs and the Red Hawks.
I'd actually go.
It's a tournament game. Thursday, 6 p.m.
You
It's
pick me
early
up,
enough that you could make your bedtime.
Can you pick me up from work? Oh, no, you're already in this side. Never mind.
If you need to know where Husky Soccer Stadium is,
I'll be
it's on
downtown.
the other side
It's at
of the
6:30.
football stadium
I get off at 5.
from campus.
Are you even allowed on the UW campus?
Actually, no.
Yeah.
Would you
You
burn?
watch
Would,
from the
would you like?
QFC
Would you
in
go up
the-
and smoke
the
if you step
mall
on there like a
across the way.
vampire?
Yeah.
So that's the
I
UW
literally
game that Mark wanted us
combust.
to talk
Good for
about.
mine.
So, good job.
There are
by the
other
way.
academy
Thank you for
players
that.
on both teams.
Like,
so
I'm
I
kinda
just wanted to
interested in
highlight
this right
2 reasons.
now.
Yeah.
Let's talk briefly about the
Next connection team.
annual business meeting
We
the other day.
Did you did you
So one of
retweet
the-
that, by the way?
Which thing?
The thing you sent
Which thing?
in Slack?
Oh, I don't know. Probably not. Let's one of the biggest questions that was asked the other day was about if
Adam.
the Sounders should consider bringing back a mascot.
Mm-hmm.
And
All hail
mean-
Sammy.
All Hail Sammy, Sound at Heart did a poll on this, and it's currently sitting at 44% no, 32% Sammy Sounder, obviously. And we wanted to queue up Sammy in the office back in May, otherwise known as, well, now, Taylor Graham.
Taylor Graham.
I don't know if that thing's sitting in the corner of his office.
It's got to
but
be.
Shout out to Taylor for probably not getting much work done for that photo op. So good on him. But seriously, let's talk about the business meeting for a minute.
Well done, Adam.
Yeah, well done, Adam. Not even just about that picture you posted on the internet, but good job. Adam's waving for those of you who can't see him at home. Did you just pop yourself on? Look at you. It's like you're an engineer.
He's so slick. You can hire Adam by going to Bootstrappers. You can hire Adam by going to bootstrapperstudios.com.
It's not .org.
He's buying the .com right now since no.
Anyway, so annual business meeting happened. We talked about it being live or in person or streamed or whatever. Ultimately, it looks like people attended online.
Because
I
that
have
was
my
really
own
your only option.
Thoughts on whether that was a good idea or not. Nothing too earth-shattering.
Results, sure, bros.
We didn't sign any new head coaches. There were some curious conversations about bag policy and a couple of other things.
They did a decent job having the head of like security customer relations for CenturyLink Field and First and Goal came out and made his statement in public, which was, I mean, it's not that I'm not saying yay his statement was good, but that the fact that they had him speak at an event like that, he took the heat. Good. I mean, I still don't agree with the bag policy, but at least they had him out there telling me that Safeco Field is a highly dangerous place
Yeah.
because it doesn't have the bag policy.
Yeah. So dangerous.
That was a good angle. I mean, the biggest news outside of Bart Wiley saying that maybe we should have a mascot again was probably that their direct signings to the USL that are teenagers will have some kind of educational path.
Yeah.
Oh, let's
forward.
go. Like
That was-
in the
that was-
So they announced that
Payment
Sam
of college.
Rogers specifically is going to go to the UW on
Yep.
the team's dime. But there are some others, and I've still got to write this story. I mean, it's kind of ever
Big
fresh.
scoop.
Which
Yo,
I think
big
in the
scoop.
Trump tax plan, that means that he has to pay taxes on that probably.
Probably.
So, but anyway,
Also,
I would actually say that was probably the biggest or most valuable thing that came out of the meeting. Not to like demean anything else, but that was a really cool thing that I think on Twitter when I was peeking at it, people were like, "Oh wait, that's a real thing? That's super cool."
Yeah, so Sam Rogers, who had a soccer scholarship, which is almost always just a partial scholarship to Villanova, is instead going to get, essentially the Sounders are going to pay for UW.
Right.
Which, as an educational institution, is on par with Villanova. I mean, if not better. Now, there are a couple other circumstances, like Shannon Hopiau, who came over here from Hawaii. He wasn't getting recruited by top-notch schools and might not have had the grades. So he's going to go to like a trade school or a CC while still playing for the USL Sounders. And Ezreal Gonzalez, who is still a high school player, essentially has his playing time will be somewhat based off of his high school performance.
So
they asked for the media asked for some clarification after that, and I've still got to write that whole thing up. Jeremiah hasn't slapped me about it, but those S2 direct signings from the academy, there aren't homegrown players by the MLS rule. They can still eventually become it, so they don't have that benefits package that MLS has. This team is essentially designing their educational path in concert with them and their parents to see what's best for their academic standing, and they'll be pushed and they'll be required to learn. Like, I know a former Sounders teen prospect that skipped class quite frequently, and I don't think that's going to be allowed to happen anymore.
Oh,
wait. So you're saying there are student athletes who skip class?
Well, yeah, in every sport, but
what about non-student athletes named Mark Nesterov? Oh, hey, Mark.
Dude, we had a receiver in one of my, this is the best part, it was a leadership class. Literally every day of class, the professor would be like, "Oh, Bumpus couldn't make it to class today, huh?"
Damn,
dude.
Yeah. So one of my my first boss at the job I had shortly after graduating college went to Syracuse and was actually the Orange for a year. And Otto, I think it's Otto the Orange at Syracuse.
Yep.
And
wow.
has photos, like actual prints of him going around town doing things as Otto. And it's like him with his feet sitting out the window and him at a bar judging the wet T-shirt contest and so on. So he would tell me these stories that Syracuse had really, really good basketball players. Well, has traditionally always had good basketball players, but went to school with Ronnie Cycli in the 80s.
In Miami?
At
Heat?
Well, Heat player, yeah.
Yeah.
So went to Syracuse.
talking about at Syracuse.
Yeah. And
I never had to change out
Ronnie
of orange.
Cycli was always in class, which was a funny thing. So he's telling the story about how he's in these classes with athletes and that they don't really know that he's the Orange mascot.
Wow.
It appears that are there comments in the peanut gallery? Go Orange. Oh.
Oh, Syracuse
sorry.
in the house. We have a whole
Tom went
family
to
from
Rutgers.
Syracuse here.
So, nice. People just use the word escape
Escaped.
to describe how
Syracuse.
they got away from Syracuse.
Where is Syracuse?
So
New York? Lovely town. Lovely museums.
I can't decide which funny thing to talk about next. So, annual business meeting. It was a thing. It was online. We'll see if they stream it only next year.
Next
and
year's
if
when they
there's
vote
limited-
for GM, right?
Yes. So that will happen next year.
He's looking good.
One would expect Garth would do okay
Yeah.
at the moment.
At the moment.
But we've all seen how voting goes in the United States recently.
Yeah.
So you never
Thank
know.
God it went all right in
Um,
Buren. Let's go. Thinking of you.
So let's keep talking a little bit of Sounders. Any news from training or anything else that you've heard, Dave, that is relevant to folks that might be fiending for Sounders right now?
I've heard.
Fiending for Sounders news.
Yes.
Jordan Morris was a full participant in practice today.
Let's go. Jordan Morris is full.
I believe.
Participant in practice.
I believe what the kids say these days is it's lit, fam.
So let me get this straight. He practiced.
you.
He's full lit. Full lit.
He's fit,
Well,
lamb.
I'm not saying he's
Full
fit.
lit. I just said full lit, but he practiced the whole time.
Did you
And
say
he's gonna be
he's fit,
rested
Lan?
going into this series?
Fit lamb.
Well, he had a long enough layoff that fitness may be a concern, and they're playing well. So I'm not telling you that he's starting. I don't want to make that assumption. I mean, there's 8 days before the.
So instead of the super turbo
games.
boost, he only has the turbo boost.
So Victor Rodriguez participated in about 80% of the action, did light fitness afterwards. So it looks like he's still trying to he played through his injury. Ozzy still looks to be a couple weeks out. So those were like the 3 injury concerns.
And we're looking good then.
Injury potential, like because we know Brad Evans
Right.
announced he's done for the year. So
Mark just off camera said that Light Fitness is his boy cover band.
Wow.
Stop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mark,
and
who
Brett
has a
goes
microphone.
wild, says Jesse.
Mark, who has a microphone, talks off the air.
Get him a second puppy.
No, but seriously,
They also, over the last weekend, they did a full 11v11 scrimmage against S2 players. Just kind of running it. And then they're going to do another scrimmage this week. That'll be a few less S2 players because they have more guys in the squad. They did get 3 days off for whichever players wanted to, could take time off. You saw Stephen Fry went to some island that has sunshine and sand, probably Hawaii. And what else are they doing? They're going to focus probably around Friday. They'll start focusing on the match-specific stuff. But right now, they're all about how to be the best Sounders they can be. That's been kind of a signature from Ryan Schmetzer. He doesn't adjust to other teams. He tries to make them adjust to him. Practice update.
I love that, dude.
Now, if somebody could have written that for me at like 2 o'clock while I was out selling beer, that would have been great.
Dude, that is exciting to hear
Nice.
about Jordan Morris and Victor getting 80. You know, this is good. This is really good.
It is good.
Dude, we're going to have a super sub with Jordan. He's going to be a super sub. Think about it, right? He's not going to come in and start likely.
Well, you're going to start Dempsey because it's
Yeah, and Bruin.
near the knack, as it were.
And Bruin, who
Definitely wants to play in
You know?
Houston.
that was his first thumbs up.
Dude's
goal.
going to be like, so.
Or no, that was his when he was the frickin' cyborg.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and he did the 2 thumbs up in celebration.
So, I think we could do a little bit deeper dive on next week. That's a good update.
When I'm
we
not
should
here.
expect. So we should expect Svensson back. What, Thursday, Friday?
Svensson, Ladero, and Nuhu are all getting back by Friday at the latest.
Okay.
Schmetz refused to give specific days, but he said by Friday everyone will be back.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Nuhu is in Africa. Both
Yeah.
Ladero and Svensson are in Europe. There's
I love that Torres stayed.
all some distance.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I was going to.
Torres staying.
Fantastic.
Tom?
What?
I think it says
Your
a
thoughts on
lot.
Torres staying?
I think it says a lot about his level of being bought into this.
I think
team.
he's clearly a supporter of trophies, not friendlies.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
think it's huge because there was a lot of strain at the beginning of the year with his contract negotiations, him playing poorly, injuries.
Coming back from the
I mean, I think it was huge statements.
Is
Talk
it
about-
as huge as the stadium that he's going
Is
to
it
have with his name on it?
Huge or is it ooge?
Ooch.
That's enorme. No, but I mean, like I'm loving
Key
that
to the
move.
city. I
I
missed
think-
that interview.
I
Unfortunately,
think it's sort of he proved how much
yeah.
he wants it.
Yeah. And now
Everybody's
they gotta show
favorite
him the
right
money.
back.
They got to show him the money now.
Ish.
Yeah, right back ish.
All right, we're gonna have. Can he get more? I mean, do we have enough money to pay him more?
Oh, so that came out. Paul Tenorino writes for 442.com, and it is a great. He's great at finding breaking league level news and.
I would have
other
said
news.
Tenorio. But
I've never heard his voice.
Anyway.
Yeah. used to cover Orlando City
Good
for
ass
one of their
chart.
papers, but now writes freelance all over the place. So he just wrote today that the expansion in TAM is under negotiations. Currently, there are some teams that want just an $800,000 expansion in TAM. That would be in addition to like the 1.5-ish that they get this year. And there are other teams that like, let's make it $2 million. And
That's like a lot of player.
Yeah, so if you add 2 million more TAM, you're essentially getting 3 Victor Rodriguez's.
Okay. I'm all right with that. Are you?
I volunteer as tribute.
So Paul T of 442, so I don't have to say his last name wrong again.
Rio.
Suggested that what might win out is that there's a new category of TAM called discretionary TAM, which is essentially like a micro DP. So the league would have
it's
the league
micro
level
TAM.
TAM that they give to people, and then certain teams would be allowed to buy more TAM.
Oh, I
Don't
love
you
it.
think we should give it a different name then?
This
Micro
sounds
TAM.
like
Ma'am.
MX style, make your own
Micro
rules,
allocation money.
changes.
We are already making our own
mean-
rules.
Yeah.
Emily says,
I like it.
damn.
So you're talking kind of like, it's almost like a luxury tax kind of situation where teams that have the money would be like, we're going to spend that money then.
As a Yankees fan, I'm super
like,
okay with this arrangement.
Seattle, Toronto, and LA.
and LA.
Other
Remember, there are
LA.
2 LAs tomorrow.
Oh yeah, 2
Or
LAs.
Next year, tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
It's like tomorrow.
Hey man, the
New
year's
York
gone by
City,
fast
but
enough.
probably not Red Bull. Red Bull cut back after Henri left.
Yeah,
Atlanta, Orlando.
yeah,
There are quite a few halves in
yeah.
MLS
That's
right
true.
now.
There's less have-nots than there used to be.
Yeah.
There are also less Huguenots than there used to be.
Huguenots.
There are Huguenots.
Yeah. So that's
There's
a
more
fun
porgs.
thing that could happen. Like you can add. So when people are like, that $300,000 player is just too much to have on the bench, and like,
Seriously.
you're going to have to get used
You're like,
to it.
someone's like, oh, I can't believe we spent that on Will Bruin. And everyone will be like, get 4 more.
yeah,
Micro
it's like if you look at the healthy bench
Yeah.
this year, like let's say Brad Evans is healthy, right? So you got his $300,000 on the bench because he's not as good as Kelvin Leardom, even though I love Brad Evans, right? You've got $300,000 from Will Bruin on the bench. You've got like $200,000 from Kalen Malice. You got $200,000 from Harry Shipp. You got $200,000 from Gustav Svensson. Like
all the grands.
MLS's benches right now are pretty deep when there are decent scouts around. The Seattle bench is good and deep and expensive. And
Nuhu,
I'm looking
but he's
forward
gonna
to the
get paid.
Champions League because
Oh my God!
that thing that Hurt
Me
Gomez
too.
was talking about when he's talking, it's really about players like 8 to 16. Well, now your 8 to 16 are Victor Rodriguez and Brad Evans and Will Bruin, whereas like they used to be.
Dude, you could
Sammy
have
Ochoa.
matches where Victor's not making the 18. You're like,
Harry Shipp, who started those.
Was
Holy
at S2?
Shipp!
He was at S2 for most of the last. Yeah.
But he wasn't making the 18, and all of a sudden he starts to playoff games.
Yo,
And is a solid contributor in them.
do we know the schedule of CCL yet? Or
No.
when those- when is that? December?
Not soon
No.
enough.
probably.
Like I need to know my vacation. I need to know.
Same.
It's going to be late February.
I know, and I'm worried because I just got tickets to that play.
You want to go to Montreal with me?
No.
You're going there for Thanksgiving. That's not related
Yeah,
to February
no,
at all.
stick to February. CCL. Hello. Hola. Estamos aquí.
We have enough trouble focusing already, Mark.
Por favor.
No mames.
Concéntrate.
That was actually
well,
the
you-
best response you could have had.
So, salary structure might change significantly, and that's
That's
gonna be
huge.
Fun. So
It's going to be particularly fun when you've got a Garth Lagerwey and a Chris Henderson around.
Yes.
yeah. So it's roughly quarter of, which means we could either totally derail
Do
the
people-
rest of the show.
We can't derail this show. This show is literally a derail.
We should rename it to Derail.
Yeah, no one's gonna do karaoke tonight.
Yeah, but the music will be very loud.
Sounders
It will
Derail.
be real loud.
Because we're inside now.
Yeah, I'm aware.
I like sound,
Wait,
like
this is
sounds
what it's
of
like
that.
inside? Shit. Ship played 3 games for S2.
Yes, he did. I was there. I announced him.
I remember one.
No, he played a lot.
Anyway, Jesse is making a last call for Stars group rate for Friday night. He needs 7 more people. Super cheap price.
Here's a reason to go see the Stars right now. Philip Lund has 4 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, go see the Stars.
Former Sounder Philip Lund.
Yeah. Also,
That dude kind of transitioned fairly quickly to the indoor game.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't played indoor until he signed with Darren Sawatsky and the Stars. He had a hat trick in the opener and scored a goal already.
Also, big save the date. Save the date right now. December 2nd.
9th.
December 2nd, we're having Barra's Cinco de Anniversary. No. Cincoñera. It's a 5-year anniversary.
You're
party.
going for.
Something
You were
like
trying,
that.
weren't
I
you?
was trying to make it, but
It's like quinceañera.
yes, it's like quinceañera,
But it's Cinconera.
but
Cinconera.
Yeah. Save the date, December 2nd.
Do you have to get a dress?
To be announced. Location, all the details coming soon, but save the date. We're celebrating 5 years of La Barra Fuerza Verde. Going to have a lot of OG heads up in the house. We're doing a lot of stuff. I don't know a lot of the details, but I'm going to get them to you ASAP.
If you don't call it Cinconera, I'm going to be super upset. Wow.
Let's go, but save the date. Boom.
Emily says dresses are mandatory.
Quinceañera dresses. Bring that out.
Can't wait to see you go in a dress.
JJ wants to know if Deuce is going to resign.
No question.
Resign or resign?
Resign.
Well, it's got a hyphen,
It's
so
already,
he
in,
does
it's already
resign.
been
Yeah.
done.
I
It's in the
hadn't seen,
works.
so I was just
It's in the
checking.
works. Probably not at $6 million a year.
I would say
I'm thinking more around like 4 years.
90% he resigns.
Clint. To review the Paul T story, he soft sold to TAM. His lead portion on that story was about a weird rule related to free agents that are above the max cap.
Is this like one of those clickbait articles? Like this one weird rule that gets free agents
And
to
then you
max
get
cap?
800 pop-up ads,
BuzzFeed and Upworthy.
Yeah.
and then your computer has AIDS.
Essentially, yeah. There's a weird rule out there that to re-sign for a higher number, guys like Clint, Kai Kamara, Beckerman, those are kind of 3
I
of
broke
the...
Tom.
Do you think Beckerman cut his hair so that he could
You get the
look
commercial with Sprint?
so he could look
Oh,
worse?
never mind. That was the other guy. Sorry.
He's the only guy who looks younger by cutting off his dreads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally, when you look at the dreaded guy, you're like, oh, look, it's a 23-year-old.
And you dread it.
But
you
the
are
dreaded white guy.
fired.
He shaved, and I'm like, oh, wow. He might be under 30 now.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, I was like, yeah.
He's definitely
So
34.
that's a distract.
So
the
let's
point being is that the negotiations to pay somebody who makes over the max more than the max as an MLS free agent with the 8 and 28 rule means that they have to negotiate with the team and the league at the same time, which is a great way to reduce the money that you make. When anytime you get another party involved, you make less money. So I think Clint comes back. I think they sign him to an extension. I think it's a 2-year extension. I think it's for 2 years with more guaranteed than he was going to make on the option, but lower per year. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be enough that he'll just be a TAM player. But
okay.
I think we get 2 more years of Clint Dempsey. Unless he...
2. You calling 2?
I'm calling...
I'll take 2.
2.
I'll take 2, barring any heart situations.
Stuff. So we got about 5 minutes left. Let's do something fun.
Chicharito.
Let's go. Let's just go round the horn, like speed round.
Oh. Okay.
You ask the next person. We're gonna go clockwise. You ask Ugo.
Okay.
Do it.
It could be whatever, as long as it's not. I don't know. You'll know.
Would this be your favorite television show in the world? LeVar Ball and President Trump joint press conference talking about the situation with
Wait, just any situation or the
D'Angelo
T,
Ball.
the situation?
No. talking about LiAngelo Ball being arrested in China.
Oh, my
because
God.
Trump tried to insert himself. So are you looking forward to the joint press conference? LeVar
You know
Ball
that's happening.
And Donald Trump.
I am looking forward to China announcing via Twitter that they don't care that Trump brought it up on LeVar Ball's behalf. But that's crazy that he literally asked China to
It's
look
insane.
into the UCLA. That is a great question. I like the way you
That's a
delivered
good
that.
question.
So I'm going to swing it now to
I mean, your choice is Mark.
Mark. Yes,
Yeah.
I know. What are your thoughts on the new millennial ice cream flavor of Prosecco?
Prosecco ice cream?
Where do I get it, and what is the limit for buying?
For alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think Trump yelled as he ran across the DMZ in the North Korea?
He didn't go to the DMZ.
You got screwed.
He didn't go to the DMZ because it was raining or
Because
something.
Daddy said he couldn't.
If Trump were to have run across the DMZ, he probably
I'm
would have.
not old.
Damn. I was going to say no mames, but if Trump were to run across the DMZ, I think he would have yelled fake news. So, first take on who scores first in next Tuesday's game, Dave.
Ooh.
Can this be
that's
for
to
all
me.
of us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your name's Dave.
But did you say Dave?
I'm going with the Roman Tower, Lamont Torres.
Oh.
Wow. First goal.
On a set piece?
We're overdue for one.
Lamont doesn't score on set pieces.
Breakaway.
It'll be like 6 minutes after a set piece, and you're like, where's Roman? And all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, he's still up top.
Do you know what kind of crazy town dance is going to happen if Roman Torres scores and like just random run a play? Like bonkers.
Thanks for the idea.
Which one? What was that?
Naked.
Naked dance.
If there's anybody that can do it.
Remember when Nico scored? What was that? Was that the last game of the regular season when he scored and he took his shirt off? And
Yeah.
the ref
That was
walked
really
out
funny.
yellow,
Fuck it.
And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Don't really care.
Dave, your turn.
Will the Sounders have a aggregate goal lead for the return leg?
Yes, they will. Because I predict a positive outcome. The first ever away victory in Houston for the Sounders. Let's
So
go.
neither of these teams have beaten each other away, right?
Nope. But
Correct.
They-
Total.
the Sounders will have
Correct.
a lead. Let's go.
So it's gonna be a 0-0
They are
fucking
prepared.
draw.
They know that Houston means business. They're not going to underestimate them. They know that their coach from Colombia is one of the best coaches in the league, without a doubt. And Schmetzer is better. And that's why they will take a lead. On that note,
Okay.
and because and Lisa's going to be there in person, that's why I think she just said that.
Ugo, you're
Wow.
up.
All right. So, what will be the final score of the series combined Western Conference Finals?
I'm going to go with 4-1 Sounders.
Oh, a lot of
Big-
confidence here.
Big numbers.
A lot of confidence here. I was
Two
going to
and
stick with
two
like,
and two. 2 scored away, 2 scored at home. Concede 1 at home to make it interesting.
wow.
All right.
Oh, I'm supposed to ask you a
Yeah.
question. If we were to make it to MLS Cup again, would I have to get my own room this time?
Definitely.
I think that we've all found that it's cheaper for us to not all get our own room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I should bring you earplugs.
Probably.
And Beth.
Yeah. Anyway.
I snore.
Who do we want to play?
Everyone snores, basically.
Toronto?
Toronto, and it's not close.
Especially after 8 bottles of champagne.
And pizza. I genuinely want Columbus in the final.
Yeah, me too.
Just to tell the league to go fuck itself.
I totally just don't want to have to
no
leave the country.
part
of
of traveling to Columbus.
I don't want to leave the
Like
country.
ever. Like in my life, if I never have to go to
Technically
Columbus,
going to Canada,
okay,
you're not leaving the
I'm going to
country.
be super okay with it.
No.
I know we did get some weird looks last year coming through customs.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
so it's 5 white people and your Mexican friend.
And guess who was
So-
delayed to get back in?
you.
Michael Garcia.
They were like, oh, I don't know how we got these 2 Latino people confused. And I'm like, I do.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord.
Anyway, yeah, it's got to be Toronto.
Yeah.
Anyway, David,
David,
what do you think?
¿qué tú piensas?
What do you think Clint
¿Qué tú
Dempsey's
piensas?
next
Clint Dempsey va a ser
handshake is going to
en su
be?
siguiente obra de mano.
And who's it going to be with?
¿Con quién va a ser? Ooh,
No,
he's too slow. He couldn't get up.
because he won't assist on that goal. So he
Yeah.
wouldn't assist. I mean, I think Kelvin Leerdam will assist on that goal. So, who? I want to see Clint and Roldan
Okay.
because I have no idea what
Sorry,
the
Cameron.
handshake would be,
Right.
but I want to watch it.
And what's the handshake going to be?
I just said I had no idea.
Just make it up.
Are you Mark?
No, I was looking at the picture of Sammy Sounder drinking.
Drinking.
Anyway. All right.
Not an expert on handshakes.
So we're almost done here tonight.
Questions from the gallery.
Do we have any other questions in the room?
We have one. Will the handshake be the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff? I like that. I know what you're talking about.
No, because Christian isn't old enough to know that reference.
Yeah, no. I think it would be more Jordan and Roldan.
I was thinking that.
I'm
The
not a
question
handshake
was,
expert.
do Deuce and Fry have a handshake? But they've got to.
I mean, you would think.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I wonder if the gloves make it more difficult.
How what? No, get out of here.
How
No.
ham is West Ham?
We're not going to ask that.
All right.
Lisa
how
trolling
much
me.
money would we have to give you for you to live on the show put down that tub of Tapatío?
You're talking to Hugo, right? Not me.
I would
I'm talking to
almost say...
You would just do it for free?
No, hell no, dude. I have...
Can we get him
no.
a straw?
I would say
Cocktail straw, though.
$20.
Ugo has like a parking ticket he
But
just
let me
got
do
for
it
$40.
next week, not
You know
this
that,
week.
right?
I'll do it next week.
Next week?
not gonna
Bowl
be
of
here next
Tapatío? I'm coming to your work.
Going to Monday Night Football.
All right. So we don't have to do predictions tonight. Any?
I will throw out my prediction, though, because I won't be here next week. The Sounders...
You just gave your
Oh, yeah, I did, actually.
Yeah.
Never mind.
to me.
Yeah.
Can you see that, Emily? That's
I
it's a good size.
famous last words tonight.
Bjorn, Fantastic Four, or the win.
I know how
Well
you follow
done.
that up.
Well done.
You should just leave it at that.
It's a really good one.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know how SEC East and West fall on deciding who gets to be Alabama's next senator. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Jeez.
David?
Keep your politics out of my soccer.
That's not that's not soccer.
So confused.
Everyone's confused. Your look
you
is amazing
broke
right
my
now.
mind. Like,
You literally broke Dave.
There's a first time for everything.
Yeah. I'll go then.
yeah.
Yo soy el tigre.
He's still puzzled.
Let's
Anyway.
end the show with a final statement. Here's this
Yes.
bizarre thing that has nothing to do with anything.
I know, I kind of said the same thing, but
Have you ever had a conversation with Tom? It's kind of how it goes.
How about Vivan los Sounders? I like that.
Where's the Sounders?
Vivan!
Las Vegas.
Haters gonna hate.
Whoa,
Haters
lights.
gonna hate.
Whoa, lights.
Anyway.
Hey, if the power
Adam?
goes out, does that mean we don't have to pay our tab?
I don't think it works that way.
No.
But yeah, we're good.
Thank you, Katie.
Katie's all like, and I'm closing you out now.
She's like, I'm gonna go get the tab and I'll be right back. So, other than the dead air that we just worked our way through, shout out to the Tukwila police for saying, please don't be like the guy who just stopped us exclaiming, but I've got a Kia Sorrento, about the feet of rain.
It was
in
3
the
feet
street.
of water on a road just outside of South Center.
And they said, Kia Sorrento or not, you're not getting through for a while. Hashtag, don't be Kia guy.
You know, that's the kind of guy that I pull out with my tow rope.
In all seriousness, if the road is flooded, don't go in the road. If the tree is down, don't try to climb over the tree with your car. If the power line is down, don't touch it. And if the power line falls on your car, don't move.
Yep.
This
Also,
is
I won't-
actually
I won't
maybe the
pull you out
best
of the
last
puddle.
words that we had the whole night.
I won't pull you out of the puddle.
I don't want you to be dead.
Cool. Anyway, let's peace out. See most of you next week. Ugo, we will not. Be careful at Monday Night Football.
Always.
Clear bags.
Always. They had the head.
Clear
Have a
back,
good
full
night.
hearts.
They were
Thanks
ahead of the
everybody for
curve on
joining
that.
us here.
Yes.
And we'll see you next Monday.